Hugo back-to-back. Can we get a double scoop of the goop?
Luke McCarthy was back on his old stomping ground Saturday night, Chris, and he'll be back at it again over the next few weeks.
You know, he still classifies Albion Park as his favourite track. He's been all over the world with great success, but Albion Park is still home for him, and he owned Albion Park here on Saturday night, landed the last 3 races, went within a whisker of getting 4. He missed by a short half head there in the first race. But the news is the big name is coming back, and he arrives this week, Don Hugo. Inter-Dominion defending champion, so he arrives in Brisbane this week. On that same float is Macbon, who's contesting Saturday night's Redcliffe Derby. So the star power is getting bigger with those big additions, but Don Hugo, can't wait to see him. Leap to fame, went through the gears again there on Saturday night. 52.70's last mile, dominant in the Lucky Creed. We need someone to stand up. Don Hugo, he might be the horse.
Yeah, he certainly looks that way. Another Southern Raider on the way, Jack's Ultimate Fury.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. So they're keen as mustard to get here. They want to start in the Rising Sun and then the Queensland Derby, the 2 Group 1 features. So news has come through. Hesitate has been invited and accepted for the Rising Sun. So that takes our tally to 4 3-year-olds now. Keeping in mind, no 3-year-old has ever won the Rising Sun. Will it be 5? What does Jack's Ultimate Fury have to do to get a start in this race? 10 wins from 14 starts. He's won 9 of his last 10. He's met Hesitate, thumped him in that Group 2 Gold Chalice at Bathurst back in March, and his 2 subsequent victories at Wagga have been really impressive against older horses. So he's headed this way. Let's hope he secures a start, and that's going to make it really interesting. 5 3-year-olds, keeping in mind they get preferential barrier draw treatment as well.
On the theme of high-quality 3-year-olds, Strike him. Is he here in Brisbane?
He's arrived, so he's come across nicely from New Zealand. He's in good order, so he doesn't go to Redcliffe. I don't think the Redcliffe Derby was ever on the radar for him. So they've got a couple of options coming up. Southeast Derby, that Derby prelude race, and then the big one, the Queensland Derby. So he's here in town, and when you consider the Redcliffe Derby on Saturday night doesn't have Hesitate, Strike'em's not there, and there's another name that's not there that's here for the Derby. It's going to be really strong, Jack's Ultimate Fury. So this Derby race is shaping up to be an absolute cracker.
One that potentially in that list, Deadline?
Yeah, Deadline's arrived as well, so he came across on the same flight as Strike'em. He's in really good order. Another one that was never going to Redcliffe for the Derby there, so they're going to look at the features coming up here at Albion Park over the coming weeks. But he's in good order. They'll know a lot more probably by the end of this week. He's had 1 hopple to run. He'll have probably another 2 or 3, and then they'll be able to determine which path they're going to take with him. But he looks in terrific order. They're more than happy with the condition he arrived in.
That's great to hear. Jess Tubbs, the team's been ticking along okay for Lara J. Better Eclipse, Recaro Rebel, will we see them?
Yes, we will. So they're headed north from Victoria. So Team Lara J on the way up. Of course, last time we had the Inter-Dominion here, they took all before them, and they're coming back. So Better Eclipse was back at the trials on Monday night at Geelong. Recaro Rebel was unplaced in that mare's free-for-all on Saturday night at Melton. So they're the 2 that are coming up. So Recaro Rebel will look at the mare's features, and Better Eclipse, Jimmy, he was placed in the Inter-Dominion Grand Final here behind Leap to Fame 2 years ago. He's going to have another shot as well.
Great to hear there. One of the locals that was nommed, Manila Playboy, update there?
Yeah, he's going to start on Friday, so this will determine whether they push on the following week for ID 25. He's had the 1 trial back, but this race on Friday night will determine what they're going to do with him, Manila Playboy. But at this stage, I think we can lock him in. He'll be contesting the series.
Good to see there. Speaking of that series, there's a few big outs. Some of those outs, Olivici.
Yeah, he's out unfortunately. Just can't get over this cold that he's been struck down with. So Chris Lang has decided to pull the pin. Just a few other trotters. Aldebaran Zeus, who was unplaced on Saturday night, he's not coming. Brent Lilly has pulled him out. Mufasa Metro comes out as well. A couple that are coming though, following the weekend, Parisian Artiste, Alex Ashwood full steam ahead, and Harry Stamper fresh off his 2nd placing behind Bet and Win at Menangle. He's already arrived in Brisbane, so he's up here getting some sun on his back. He's ready to go for night 1.
Good to see him here because he was one of the first invited to the Great Square a few years back, and they had to pull the pin there. Protostar, Garrards? Have they got a slot?
I think we'll have news by the end of this week who they're going to go with. So, interestingly, today between races, My Alderman Xander went around in a trial. Angus Garrard drove him in that trial. So maybe we can read something into that. But they're certainly keeping their options open. There's a few interstate 2-year-olds they're looking at. So by the end of the week, we should have news. I know they were taken by that 2-year-old winner today, Dramas. So he was an impressive winner, and owner breeder Tony Turpin celebrating a big milestone, turned 65 today. So maybe he'll be in negotiations with the Garrard family as well.
Well, that's a good get. Birthday and owner breeder pick up the Q-bred bonus too. So look out around town there. Jumping Joy from the Darryl Graham stable.
She's gone. North America is calling, and they've accepted an offer, and she now heads up there. She's a half-sister to Jumping Jack Mack, the former star pacer over in Perth for Gary Hall Sr. So she's a valuable broodmare proposition, but the Yanks have come in, they've made an offer, accepted, and she's now bound for North America.
Very good. That looks to be the end of my list.
There is an and. So Shannon Price trialled Sure Thing Captain between races today, trialled really well, fast time. He is definitely locked in for the Inter-Dominion, so he's going to be starting in that series. Speak the Truth, he'll either race on Friday night or trial, and if he goes well, he'll be starting in the series as well. So hopefully all goes to plan there, because when he was scratched recently, there was a bit of doubt whether or not he'd be able to take his spot. So we'll know more after this week whether or not Speak the Truth joins his stablemate Sure Thing Captain for the series.
Well, that was an impressive trial, and just one other one that was impressive in victory, Burkakara. He was mighty impressive there today, so he'll be pushing forward for the Rising Sun, I'd imagine.
I can't see how he doesn't get a start. That was only start number 13 today, and he's gone 50-5. Yes, he was in front, but they're slick sectionals that he cut. So I think he's got to get a start. Does Air Express do enough to get a start? He was parked out, finished third. Does he do enough?
Yeah, well, it makes it an intriguing race now, just with where they all line up. And like you said, he sat parked, held on for third, but he is a proven Group 1 winner.
Does Call to Water get in front of him following his victory there in the Hayden?
Well, doesn't it just open up all sorts of scenarios here? So good luck, RQ handicappers, come Monday morning.
Yep. That barrier draw for the Rising Sun Monday night, and that's going to be live on Sky TV, so make sure you're tuning in for that.
Goop looking to go back to back. Can we get a double scoop of the Goop?